Good afternoon and welcome to the special council meeting of April 13th, 2026. I call this meeting to order. We do have regrets from Councillor Andrew. We have a fixed agenda today, which is the draft operating budget for 26-27. If someone could move approval of the agenda. Deputy Mayor Crowell and Councillor Maxwell as a seconder. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. So we have one item on the agenda, as I said, and it's the approval of the 2026-2027 operating budget. And before we begin, I just want to take a few moments and talk about this draft operating budget. Kentville is growing at levels we have not seen in decades. People want to live here, work here, and invest here, and that is something that we all should be very proud of. But that growth must be matched with investment in our infrastructure and services. Over the past 6 years, our population has grown by roughly 13%, one of the highest growth rates in the province. That brings opportunity, but it also brings responsibility. Because growth does not show up just in numbers, we feel it in the pressure on our 60 kilometers of roads, our 23 kilometers of sidewalks, our sewer system, our stormwater systems, and more than 100 kilometers of water infrastructure across our community. And we are feeling that pressure now. Much of our infrastructure is aging. While work has been done over time, long-term reinvestment has not always kept pace with what was needed. The gap we're dealing with today didn't happen overnight, and it's the result of years where investment didn't keep up with need, and now it's our responsibility to address it. As a result, several major needs are coming forward at once. This is the reality in front of us, and today is about how we respond to it. This budget reflects where we are right now and the responsibility we must deal with it properly. It moves us away from short-term fixes and toward consistent, long-term investment. At its core, this is about leadership, making decisions today that strengthen Kentville for the next decade, not just the next year. At the same time, we know people are feeling pressure. Costs are rising everywhere. Food, housing, fuel, and municipalities are not immune to that. The cost of doing the same work today is simply higher than it was just a few years ago. We have worked to strike a balance. For the average household, this budget represents an increase of about $8 to $10 a month, depending on assessment. This is not insignificant, but it is necessary if we're going to begin addressing our infrastructure needs responsibly. We are also continuing to support those who need it most, including strengthening the low-income tax exemption program. We are also making important investments in accessibility across our community, including upgrades to Town Hall to ensure our public facilities are inclusive and continue to serve residents into the future. Accessibility in our public spaces matters because these are services everyone relies on. Growth is not just about infrastructure, it is about people. It is about inclusion and making sure everyone has a place in a growing Kentville. Housing is also one of our biggest challenges. We will need hundreds of new units over the next decade to keep pace with demand. This is why we are continuing to work with developers and support a range of housing options, including affordable and mixed market developments. One of the most important investments in this budget is recreation. The proposed regional recreation facility and arena replacement is a generational investment for this community. Our current facility has served us well, but it is reaching the end of its life cycle. The proposed facility will be located on the Kentville and Kings County boundary and will serve residents across the region for decades. This is about more than a building. It is about health, wellness, connection, and community. It is about giving young people a place to grow and ensuring residents of all ages have a place to stay active and engaged. Facilities like this are not luxuries. They are a core community infrastructure, just like libraries, parks, and other public spaces that people rely on every day in a growing community. We are also continuing to invest in our parks, trails, and public spaces because quality of life is what attracts people to Kentville and what keeps them here. At the same time, we are strengthening how we support our business community. Our focus is on the entire business community across Kentville. That includes downtown, the business park, and our neighborhood commercial areas. Every part of that ecosystem plays a role in our local economy and deserves consistent attention and support. We are also expanding support for accessibility across all of our local businesses in our community, helping to reduce barriers and ensure more spaces are inclusive and accessible for everyone. We are also moving forward with a more coordinated and integrated approach to economic development, one that ensures clear alignment with council priorities, stronger accountability, and a more direct connection between the business community and council. As part of this approach, we will be establishing a Kentville Business Advisory Committee that will report directly to council. This will provide a consistent table for dialogue with the business community, strengthen communication, and ensure council receives structured input from across all sectors of the local economy. This approach strengthens coordination, improves responsiveness, and ensures we are well aligned as we support growth and investment across the community. This is about being clear in our direction, consistent in our support, and intentional in how we grow our local economy. A strong and diverse business community is essential to a strong Kentville. We are also making investments in long-term planning, infrastructure management, including stormwater management, and financial sustainability, so we are better prepared for the future. This budget was not easy to build. It required balancing rising costs, growing needs, and the expectations of a changing community, while keeping things as fair as possible for taxpayers. But it is a responsible budget. It reflects a community that is growing, a council that is willing to make decisions, and a clear understanding that we cannot delay these investments any longer. Today marks a turning point. We are moving from short-term fixes to long-term investments in the future of this community. We are not just managing growth, we are planning for it, and we are building for it. Before I close today, I want to thank our CAO and municipal staff for their work in preparing this budget and for everything they do to deliver services to our residents. I also want to thank my council colleagues for their collaboration throughout this process, and most importantly, thank you to the residents of Kentville for your continued trust and engagement. This budget is about doing the work now so that the Kentville we are building today is one we can be proud to hand off to our future leaders tomorrow. Thank you. So we have a recommendation here. Deputy Mayor Kroll, if you'd like to read it, we'll turn you on.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I have a motion that I would like to read into the record. The rates that I will be reading will be slightly rounded for the ease of reading. That Council approve the proposed 2026-2027 operating budget for the town of Kentville, reflecting revenues and expenditures of $20,595,000 with the following tax rates. Residential and resource base rate of $1.46 2/3, fire area rate of 4.5 cents, Kentville water utility hydrant rate of 5 2/3 per $100 of assessment, and residential rural base rate of 5 2/3, 8 1/2 cents, and fire area rate of 4.5 cents per $100 of assessment for PID numbers 552-63586, 554-34419, 552-48652, 552-48645, 552-48660, and a commercial base rate of $3.33 2/3, a fire area rate of 4.5 cents, an economic development area rate of 11.5 cents, and Kentville water utility hydrant area rate of 5 2/3 of assessment, excluding those covered under an act relating to taxation of industrial and commercial properties in the Annapolis Valley Regional Industrial Park, and a commercial base rate of $2 and this is really hard to read some of these numbers, $2.28.7 for the base rate, fire area rate of 4.5 cents, economic development rate of 11.5 cents, and a water utility hydrant rate of 5 2/3 per $100 of assessment for all properties covered under an act relating to taxation of industrial and commercial properties in the Annapolis Valley Regional Industrial Park, and I so move.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Baker is a seconder. I'll open the floor to any discussion. Yes.
The motion reads to include the residential rate, the residential rural rate, the commercial rate, the industrial park commercial rate, and then the new industrial park, industrial manufacturing rate. I may have missed one. I was trying to follow along. Just want to make sure we got all 5. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
they're all there, okay. Councillor Savage.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to, just to make a comment, and so thank you for how you prefaced this. It was excellent. Certainly without making this adjustment, there would be a shortfall somewhere north of like $330,000. I agree, we have to invest in Kentville's future today. And the recap that the Director of Finance did was really, really helpful. The budget highlights, the taxation highlights, and how she puts in perspective of what this 4 cents really represents to folks on the average dwelling. It's very helpful. So I would encourage residents to review that and to re-review your words before making this motion. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Deputy Mayor Kroll.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I fully support the 2026-2027 Town of Kentville operating budget. This budget reflects the priorities set out in our strategic plan and responds to the reality that our town is growing and we must keep pace. Like our residents, the town is facing rising costs beyond our control. Council has direct influence over only about 25% of the operating budget, with over 60% of the property assessments capped at 2.6%. Our ability to increase revenue is limited. At the same time, we are managing significant increases in fixed costs for education, for transit, for debt, and for collective agreements, while also planning for key projects like the Regional Recreation Centre, the new Kentville Arena, the Donald Hills Connector, and ongoing stormwater management. This is a balanced, responsible budget that supports both our current needs and our future growth, and I believe it reflects the kind of thoughtful leadership that our community expects, and I'm proud to support it.
Thank you very much. Councillor Maxwell.
Thank you. I just want to thank CAO and staff for coming forth with such a great budget. I'm very happy with it, and I think that it provides for the needs of the people in the town of Kentville. We'll be able to maintain our services, plus we're going to move forward a little bit into the future and be able to provide some new infrastructure that is going to be vital for the growth of our town, and I just want to thank everybody. So thank you.
Okay, I guess there's no more discussion. We will open the floor, and voting is now open. Voting is now closed, and the motion is carried. Thank you very much. There being no further business in this meeting, I will adjourn at 4:45. Thank you. Thanks for changing that battery.